Okay, so welcome to IS 332. Today we're going to be talking about Balsamiq. I've got a week at a glance for week 6 up and going. Technically we're in week 7 already, but this is content for week 6, so hopefully we'll get caught up pretty soon here. As you can see this week we're going to not really have any readings to do. You already read about uh, sort of wireframing last week. This week I do have a homework for you, homework 4. Which I'll be talking about in a little bit. And in lecture I'm going over today, I'm going over Balsamiq. So you can get Balsamiq. Um, it's available. This program is available in Mac 122. Also, you can get a 30-day trial. Alternatively, you can purchase it. If you get a 30-day trial now, that would be probably okay. That'll take you through the middle of November, at which point we should be basically done with our Balsamiq work. So that would probably be fine to do. So Balsamiq, this is the program. Let me load it here from the start bar. I've installed it. Right here. It just comes up with a blank screen and allows you to get going. So the first thing we're going to do is go to um, where it's got the new mockup here. I've already got new project selected. I'm going to go to all our various views that we have. I don't need markup. And then I'm going to go ahead and get started on adding things. So the first thing to do is bring up our buttons and forms and containers and everything. That is this little button here. It's kind of unintuitive, but it says Show UI Library. That's all the UI tools that we have at our disposal. By default, it does not include Android. I know, sad, but because I'm an Android user. But we do have iPad here. We have iPhone. So we'll probably use those at its core. We'll probably just go ahead and add those. We can add Android actually. Yeah, you can add it, but I mean, I'm not going to worry about it. Those of you that really care, you could go ahead and look on Google about how to add that, but I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get started here. You click on the this little Show UI Library button, and then you bring your iPhone in. And that's your first screen. So screen by screen is going to be on the left. I've got two screens right now. One is showing the iPhone and one is showing nothing. I'm going to go ahead and add the iPhone to that one as well. So I was complaining at one point about my flashlight app on my phone, but I'm going to go ahead and make that app on Balsamiq to show you how to do it. So basically, what you want to do, and this is kind of a good walkthrough for the assignment, but you want to take a look on your phone, or if you need to, you could probably borrow someone's phone. So for the iPhone version of the flashlight app, what I'm going to model it after is, it's a very simple app. I've got a picture of it right here. Here's what it looks like on the iPhone. So we've got a button here to turn the light on and off. We've got a slider here to change the brightness. We've got a mode button and a color button. We've got a compass. And then we've got a well, on mine, that's the actual, that's for the strobe light. So I guess that's what that's for, yeah. And then whether or not it's on or off. And it's basically just one screen. I'm requiring you to find an app that has 3 screens. So we're going to pretend this has a second screen, just so I can show you how to do linking. So let's go ahead and add a button. So I've got my iPhone, and we're going to do 2 screens. We'll do one screen for the basic flashlight, and then one screen for this imaginary new feature we're adding. And, well, it's kind of a circle button, so that might work. We're going to have a slider for the brightness. See if we can find a slider somewhere. We have a scroll bar. Here's a horizontal slider. There's also a volume slider. I'm going to go with the horizontal slider. This may be a good one. And you can see these don't have to be, when you're doing your homework, you can kind of scale this as well. These don't have to be perfect. This is actually curved. That's a finer detail that you don't have to worry about. Then we have a color button and a mode button. I'm going to do those as small little buttons. One is mode. Should be a small little button, and it looks like I got to do some scaling here. So color and mode. All right, and then we've got our little compass. The compass is going to be a hard one to do because it's not, it's probably a good idea to take that into something like Photoshop and make something really quick. You could probably even do Paint. I do have Photoshop on here too, on my machine, but I'm just going to use Paint because I'm assuming most of you will have it. So the problem with Paint, I'm not going to use Paint. The problem with Paint is going to be that it won't do transparencies. Photoshop is also on the campus computers. You might find luck with Paint.net. Paint.net is a free program. I can show you that. It's called getpaint.net, and it gives you most of the things Photoshop gives you. But for now, I'm going to use Photoshop. I don't intend you to have to use Photoshop, but if you've got something like a compass like that, that you want a slightly better example of what it is, we're going to have to put on north, south, east, and west. It might be a good idea to use Photoshop for that in that case. So we say new. We'll make it small. Maybe we can always scale it. Maybe we'll do 2 by 2 or 1 by 1. How about? That's still bigger than it actually is, but it'll give us some space to work with. We're going to go ahead and make a circle here. So in Photoshop, we can do and select the select this. Shift M to do the selection and make this a circle. Something like this. We want to simply crop that. So we got to inverse it. Then we should be able to hit delete. And now we've got our circle. Some alpha behind it. We're just going to quickly go ahead and add in a north, east, west, south, and then draw a line here. Well, it's not exactly on target, but kind of get the point. I guess I can go back and select this S and move it. Oops, I'm moving that thing. I got to go back to the right layer. Select the S layer. Like that. Should probably make sure these are in line too. And it looks like they pretty much are. This thing has to move again though, but an artist I am not. Let's see here. Take that guy and move it. And cut that. And that looks a little bit better. So now we're going to save this. And if you don't know Photoshop, that's all right. As I said, it's not really necessary, but it's just one of those things that's nice to be able to do if you're looking to make good mock-ups. Save this first. Compass. And then we can go to export. Quick export is PNG. Compass PNG. Now we can go back to mockups since I've exported that, and we can add an asset, which is what we wanted to do all along. So, oops, I accidentally created. So the compass should go up here. We can scale it once we get it in. We can import assets. We go to import and then assets. And this was stored on D, Photoshop, compass. Now it should come in under assets. Oh, it looks like it didn't. Okay, I need to fix that. Well, that's a good learning lesson. I was thinking that was an alpha channel already, but apparently it's not. So let's go back to Photoshop and make that an alpha. So now that we got our image, basically we can just select it in the layer view. Double click it, go to blending options, and go like that. Move it up a little bit just to get rid of the black. And there we go. We're going to re-export as the compass. And I'm going to go back to balsamic. So this one we can move to the trash and import a new asset. Here's our new compass. And now it looks right. Of course, it's way too big. We can scale it. Probably just something like that. Let's see, what else do we have in there? Oops. The thing went away somehow. Hold on a second here. Go back. There we go. We had a little scaler above as well. Some kind of a bar. So you can look through this. There's all kinds of things you can add. All kinds of icons. Containers. Go back to a slider idea that I had. It was kind of looks like a slider. It's more like a bar, maybe. Toolbar, perhaps. Button bar. Nope, it's definitely not that. We'll just do a horizontal splitter. And again, that was for the strobe light. So presumably you click on that button and it goes somewhere. So what we have to do next is, this is our little flashlight app. We want to go next to the strobe light area, which is going to be here. So we can come into this thing that you're going to click on. And this is like a pretty awful design, but so we're going to click on this, go to properties, horizontal splitter. Looks like yep, it's not going to let us click on that because probably that's a bad design. I'm not quite sure what the phone app had it doing. I think maybe we'll make some little buttons at the bottom to click on it. Make a button to go to the scroll bar, or to go to the, this is probably a better way to do it. So this would be strobe. So we're going to click on strobe. Now when we click on strobe, we can go to this link. We can go to new mockup 2, which will come over here. We can even take some of our sliders with us and stuff. Strobe light probably has a button for starting it as well. But you probably are starting to get the idea. Most of the rest of this is just dragging things around. And now when we click on, I'm going to save this project, flashlight. This is what I'll need you to hand in, is the BMPR file. So now that when you click on strobe, notice there's a little link button. Click on strobe. And we want to view as a presentation. So that's what we have there. If you click on strobe, it goes there. So if you click on any button, it has the potential for doing things. So you go to view, full screen presentation. And then you can click on it. And there we go. So that's it for class today. I just want you to start playing around with this tool and getting used to it. That's basically the homework. So there you go. Let me know if you have any questions.